scrapbookers and creative friends. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. I'm Linda Petuch. I'm a Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. So today, my Thursday Thoughts are about something that my friend Ellen said was a little bit old school, but I think I kicked it up a notch, and I was encouraged by what she told me. So we want to take our criticism from friends and use it because it was constructive. So my theme today is memories A to Z. And this started way back when I was a Creative Memories consultant. My upline at the time told me to, had suggested that I make an ABC album. And then and I used it when my kids were little. Then I didn't do one for a long time, but I did one more recently. And that's what I'm going to share with you some samples of what I did with the big 12 by 12 albums. And then I'm going to show you some variations, because I realize that 12 by 12 is kind of a big undertaking. And that way, so now I've had a couple of modified ways of doing it. So I hope you stick around to see it all. Remember now, if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments and I will answer those questions whenever I can. So, why ABCs? The reason that I like it is because it kind of guides you. It's like an organizational tool that you can use to go ahead and start creating pages using the letters of the alphabet as your kickoff point, your organizing point. Now, sometimes it can be very obvious. M is for milk, C is for cookies, N is for necklace. However, you can use places, you can use people's names, and sometimes you might have to use like an action, something that's appearing in the photo. Maybe you have somebody who's an acrobat, acting like an acrobat, or someone who's tumbling. So you can use action words as well. So what I want to do is I want to share some of the ABC, how I did it with the 12 by 12, and then go off to my variations. So let's take a look at my old, well, not real old, but my former 12 by 12 ABC albums. See what you think. So this is one of the older Creative Memories albums. I did have my spine embossed. This was volume 1. I knew I wanted to do more of these, so I had it embossed. And this was the very first one I did, and I did decide to make it to make a little poem at the beginning. I was teaching primary school at the time, before I started teaching science or science lab. I always taught through science, but I decided that I wanted to use a little poem just to get started. So this is when my children were littler, and it was what I like about it is a great place for you to go non-chronologically. If you just find anything that begins with A, these are all our different aunts in the family, alligators, of course, and ants and so forth. And of course, every page, every letter that had someone's name, we would start with that, and that would be the guide for that. E for Eric, E for Ed, J for Janie's coming up. Different activities that we did. It was a really fun way for us for me to organize this. And I would look at my pictures and I'd look at them a little bit differently. And when you get to some of the crazy harder letters like Q, I decided to use my kids' pictures over the years and make a How Quickly You've Grown quilt. So what you'll find out is that you start thinking a little bit differently about your pictures, and you'll look at them, and whether they're in a box being stored, or if they're in on your phone, you look through and look for things that kind of make you think of a letter, or when you look at them, think of letters, and that'll help guide you. Sometimes you have to just be creative. Z is not always the easiest one, but there's a lot of sleeping pictures. A lot of these sleeping pictures now have been replaced by our fur baby sleeping, but when the kids were little, I had lots of sleeping pictures. So that's my first example, and then I ended with just a little letter, because it is a great way to preserve those memories, not worry about chronological order. Let's take a look at the new one, the next one. So this one felt much more recent to me because it was summer 2019, but that's becoming a little bit far away from now, but in any case. So these, of course, are going to have older pictures of our kids being older and so forth. But I used the same idea, and I used sticker letters. I forgot to talk about that in the other one. I used sticker letters, and I had some stickers that were not creative memories that somebody had given me with different birds on it. So I thought this is a great way to use that. And you notice I don't have them anywhere near my pictures, so my pictures are safe in there. So again, you go through and you find pictures that work for you for the different letters. And of course, this way I have updated information. My kids are older, but it's kind of a way to keep track, of what they're doing and what we're all doing as a family. And we can mix and match together and just have a documentation. But it's kind of a fun way, and they love looking at these pictures. I will say that when they go back and they look at these, they really enjoy seeing some of these special moments that we have. And as I said, they don't have to be chronological, so that gives you a little more time to use some of the pictures. Often I will use pictures that I didn't really have another place for them. I mean, the vehicle assembly building at the Kennedy Space Center, okay? Views on trips. There are things that you can plug in there that you wouldn't really otherwise have a place to do. Yeah, X is kind of a tricky one. So, use words like extra with an X and extreme. And then you can find your way through, and you can have another book that is filled with special memories. Oh, and this one, because you do have a back page left, and I'm going to talk about the particulars, but I ended up because if you make a title page, I make a bonus page at the back. On the first one, I did a poem, but this one I added some pictures of special friends, some of my favorite pictures. Okay, let's take a look at how I organize this. So in order to make your album for the complete alphabet, no matter what size it is, what size your album is, you need to have, I always have a title page, one page for each letter, and then that bonus page in the back. When you do that, that means you'll need to have 14 pages so that you have the front and the back. For them. If you want to have a double page spread like I had for those for the 12 by 12 album, or if you do a smaller one, if you want a double page spread for the letters, you'll need 27 pages total that you put into your book. So this is the creative memory storage that you can use for paper, but here's how I set this up. And I keep this is ongoing for me. When I'm working on albums and I get pictures, if I have extras or some that I think, oh, that would be great for another alphabet album, because I'm already ready for volume 3. I've already had the spine embossed for volume 3 because I really love doing these. So what I did, these are just envelopes that I had, when you get bills or advertisements, I use these envelopes, I put them in, I just fold the flap down, I have one for each letter of the alphabet, but I keep them in the Creative Memories box because this is a photo safe place for them to be. Then when I'm getting ready to work on my book, then I just go through these envelopes. If I don't already have something printed, then I can look at the photos that are on my phone, or that I have in some of my other storage situations. Now, that 12 by 12 album is a big undertaking, especially because I did the double page spread. It's a great way to use stickers, and had some of the old die cut letters and so forth. But if you don't feel that ambitious, or you don't have the time to be that ambitious, sometimes we have great plans and it's difficult. I've come up with 2 more layouts for you to use, 2 more ideas that you can use. And I want you to think about this. If you have grandchildren or children who could help you with this, have them help you think of letters that think of either activities or places or people and so forth that would go with each letter. I'm sure that they would not mind posing to make a special upside down picture or something for you if you needed something for a particular letter. But I decided I wanted to make this a little more practical, a little more user friendly. So I've come up with a format for our 6.75 by 10 happy album, and I also created a layout for the 8 by 8 album. 8 by 8 album. So I'm going to share these with you now and just give you an idea how I did it. Now, I started working on the on the happy album size at my on my National Scrapbook Day with my ladies, and I thought, oh, this was great. It was fun to have time to scrapbook with them, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to have time to finish this before my next video, and they said, oh, just make a few pages, and that'll be fine. They'll get the idea. Well, I couldn't stop. So my happy album size is a complete album, and I'm very excited about it. Very happy to show you that. So let's take a look first at the happy album size. Now for the happy album, I used these wonderful new horizontal pocket pages, and because I looked at them, I thought, okay, that would be 2 photos per letter, and then you can put the information for the letter here. I use sticker letters, as you'll see. I use sticker letters, and then I used either pre-punch shapes I had, or I punched some shapes and so forth, which I'm going to show you right now. All right, so I decided to do it like this. Let me prop this up a little bit so it doesn't get rid of that glare. So I decided to do memories A to Z, as you see, and the map packs fit in here as well. So these are some of the, I think this was What a Zoo, but it looks tropical to me, and I live in the tropics. So this memories A to Z. So then what I did was I just decorated that strip in the middle. That's how I decorated, with stickers and punches that I already had made, or because I do collect. I've shown you my storage, my tackle box, that I have my pre-punch shapes that I keep, or I had to punch a couple extra, but this way you already have the design right there. This would be a really fun thing for your kids or grandkids to make with you. That would be so easy for them to do, and it would be fun because you could brainstorm what shapes you want to, or sorry, not what shapes, what design you want to use, what begins with that letter, and how can we stretch it a point. This is not a thing, but it is an activity to explore. So that's what I did there. And what I decided to do, because I showed this to my daughter, and she said, wait a minute, I don't get it. So I told her I hadn't labeled it yet. So I used our write-on stickers. This write-on sticker pack, they are wonderful because they're 2 different sizes, a thin and a thick. And for $3, you get this pack, and it's great for, it's all photo safe. You can write with our special pens, with the Creative Memories pens, and that way you don't have to worry about your picture being damaged. But it makes a point so people understand, because if you're not familiar with the names of the flowers and so forth, or whatever it is I put here, I mean, without this label, you wouldn't get Nice Night. That was International Observe the Moon Night. That means something to me, but in order for that to mean something in the future, for people to know what you're talking about, you need to maybe make a note there. But this actually took me a couple of days. I started it on Saturday at my National Scrapbook Day crop. But, I picked at it a little bit. The most fun, of course, was creating the all the little decorations there, deciding which shapes I was going to put, which punches, which stickers. And I did use sticker letters. I didn't worry about making them all match. It's a different letter every time. And I stuck to 1 page per letter. Okay. And again, I had to get creative here. Extra special cake candle, and kisses for XXX. So sometimes you have to get a little creative. That's okay. I even use the word yes here. But this way, I have this, and I decided on the last page to put special moments, photos of special moments. And there's my ABC album, my latest ABC album, short and sweet, but it was a lot of fun. And I just can imagine that if you have kids or grandkids who would want to help you with this, you would have a really good time doing that with children. I think they'd really enjoy it. Now let's look at the 8x8. So on my 8x8 album, I decided to use the side-loading pocket pages. You don't have to do that. You could just use the regular white or Spargo or natural, whatever pages you have for the 8x8. But again, you need the 14 pages minimum, and that's what I did. I did the minimal amount, which was 14 pages. That's 1 title page, a page at the back, the bonus page at the back, and then a page for each letter. I do not have pictures in this yet, but here's how I did this. Because because I made the little happy album, I didn't want to fill this one with photo shed. I may actually gift this album. but so that's why I didn't want to put any lettering or any title yet, because it may be for it may be a gift, so I want to wait on that. But so I just used one of the frame punches here to make the cover, and then I decided, instead of using stickers, I went through my punches, and I tried to use the border punches, standalone border punches. You'll see I had to use a couple of Border Maker cartridge punches, but I wanted to find punches that began with the different letters. Now, there's no way I would have remembered what they were called, so I just went ahead and I wrote arch frame, just so that people looking at it will understand why I picked that. Here, B for bamboo, cardinals, this is the dollop arch. But you see, this is ready to receive a photo or two. It doesn't have to be a lot. Evergreen trees, flower child. This was grassland, heart to heart. And, there are other punches that have the same beginning letter, so you can use whatever you have. Iron gate, jammy. See, this was a Border Maker cartridge. We didn't have any standalone punches that began with J, so I used the jammies. This also, kissing fish, was a Border Maker cartridge, but all the rest were the standalone punches. Leafy vine, monstera, notes, beaded ovals, polar bears, quilted circle, rose garden, scissors, tidal wave. Okay, this was a stretch. This is called dine. However, I'm looking at the utensils, so you can twist it, you can stretch it. It's yours. Do what you want. There were other choices for vine, but I decided to do the winter vine. I love that one. That one to me also looks like coral. I use that a lot in my tropical layouts. This was weaving waves. Now, a stretch again for X. This field fence makes so many X's, I just had to go with it because we don't have a punch that begins with X, but works for me. A lot of X's. Y is, another stretch. This is called Alpine. These mountains, this mountain punch, Alpine. And what do we do in the Alps? We yodel. So for Y, I used the Alpine, with yodeling in the Alps. And for this doily one, I decided to call these zinnias. So these are zinnias, and that's the way it is because I said so. And then I have this last page, my border page at the back, that can be for whomever. You can put a bonus picture on there, or you can add a poem, you can add comments, you can write about making the book. Maybe if you make it with a child or with a friend, you can write a little story about that there. But that's a little 8x8, very short and sweet and easy to do. And I really enjoyed looking at my punches. You can use whatever you have. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. Let's do that next. So now making an album like this with this ABC as your theme and as your organizing tool takes a little bit different thinking. You have to just think a little bit differently. So I taught this as a class, and I have a little go-to sheet. So I made step-by-step directions. And also when I first started doing this, our upline had some lists, some shortened lists. They had Disney and some other lists, but I was teaching primary, and I really was thinking about this. And the more you work with it and the more you think about it, the more things you come up with. So here's my plan. I have a multiple page list of regular ABC ideas, objects, and of course, remember, you always can use a person's name that starts with a letter, but also I've expanded on those lists from using this over time. So I have the regular everyday objects and activities ABC list, but then I also started with a smaller Disney list that I was given, and I have a lot of entries now, and you probably would be able to add even more. Now, I would love to share these with you, but here's how I'd like to do it. I have created these lists for you and expanded on them, and you have two ways that you can get these lists from me. Number one, you can visit my website, and if you spend $30 or more on excluding shipping, I will put these lists right in your package with you and send that with you for you to get started on your ABC. If you don't want to order from my website, if you want to order directly from my Creative Memories site, I have the link in the description for both of those, but the same deal there. If you order $30 or more, excluding shipping, once I get my confirmation from home office, I will go ahead and email you the electronic copy of these lists as a great way to get started. So if this is something that you are interested in, I thank you for supporting my business and for spending time with me. And I hope it's given you some good ideas. If you have questions, comments, please put them, as I said, in the description below. I appreciate your taking time to watch, and I thank you once again. Happy scrapbooking. Goodbye for now.